Nigeria Info. Nigeria. I'm listening.
It's 6 o'clock.
This is the news on 92.3 Nigeria Info.
Good evening. It's Thursday, 23rd November 2023. Peace is the path to the prosperity of a nation. Let peace reign. On the news this evening, former Rivers APC chairman demands reversal of dissolution of state executive. Former APC spokesperson blames bad leadership for party crisis. Political scientist speaks on absence of local government chairman at Governor Fubara's hospital commissioning. Suspended Adamawa State resident electoral commissioner now in Niger Republic. On the foreign scene, Qatar announces key details of planned pause in Gaza fighting. I am Constance Mega. APC chairman in Rivers State, Emeka Bekee, is asking the national chairman of the party, Abdullahi Ganduje, to reverse the decision of the National Working Committee dissolving the executives of the party's state chapter. Where Mr. Bekee tells correspondent Matthew Kerenkem that the tenure of the executives in the state is yet to elapse.
The legal advice should advise what does the constitution of the party say. Only NEC that has the moral right. I'm surprised the NWC they had that power. And I don't think there's any time the last time you were giving them that power to do that. You're not giving them that power. It's so shocking and surprised. Dan Guje, the national chairman, he knows how he came to become national chairman of this party. He's a man who is in a glass that is not good for you to throw stones. He has to revise his step.
Well, Mr. Bekee also reacted to reports that the action of the APC NWC is to allow the former governor of Rivers State, Nyesom Wike, take over the party structure in the state.
Well, I don't know because he's not a member of the party. Wike is not a member of APC in Rivers State. He's not a member of APC National. But if the National decide to do that, well, what comes out of it, they should be able to bear it.
Also, Achinike Williams Wobodo, loyalist to Emeka Bekee's faction of the party, said the decision of the NWC has plunged Rivers State into a one-party system.
It doesn't speak good of Rivers politics in Rivers State because what we have now gravitated into is a one-party system in the state. So there's literally speaking no opposition. So nobody tries to check the government in power anymore. Whatever the government does is acceptable by the opposition.
But Mr. Omiete Eferebo, who once claimed to be the acting chairman of the party in the state, tells correspondent Suibio Ruwari that the dissolution of the state excos is long overdue.
It is a welcome development, and as a party, we need to reposition ourselves for the betterment of our followers. And for the National Working Committee taking this position, I think they've seen what is happening in Rivers APC. They've seen what the suffering of our party members, what our party members are going through. And this is the best time to put the party straight. The new leadership, Chief Tony Okocha, and his team will reposition the party for better.
Meanwhile, former Commissioner for Information in Rivers State, Chris Finebone, says recent happenings within the APC in the state should serve as a guide to new members of the party. Mr. Finebone, who was a spokesperson of the APC before his defection to the PDP, tells correspondent Martha Okerenkem that the failure of the Rivers APC was caused by poor leadership.
Those who would be registering afresh to become APC members in Rivers State should open their eyes to the issues that killed the party in the state in the first place. It wasn't for lack of patriotic members. It wasn't for lack of numbers or will. The failure of APC in Rivers State was brought about by absolutely poor leadership. Could anyone have imagined that the leadership of a ruling party in the state would willingly abandon their party and its presidential candidate for an opponent to capture without challenge? Did the former leadership of APC ever consider the fate of its teeming supporters who have been out of power in the state for 8 years? Who really does that?
Well, Mr. Finebone also spoke on the attempted impeachment of Governor Siminalayi Fubara earlier this month.
I have said that strategy is everything. We don't need to be in the media all the time to prove anything. Such might complicate issues further. There's no need fanning any embers in the media or public place. We are more likely to be held responsible for what we said than for what we didn't say. Therefore, just tarry and watch. There is time for everything.
We'll recall that yesterday, the APC-NWC dissolved the executives of the River State chapter of the party. It said a caretaker committee that will oversee the conduct of a congress to elect new executives has been put in place. A political scientist, Obinna Nwadim, says the absence of local government chairmen at the opening of the hospitals by Governor Siminala Ifubara yesterday is a sign of a silent war in the state. We're speaking with correspondent Onyeka Chinwosu. Dr. Nwadim said the action of the local government chairmen shows where their allegiance lies. But Dr. Nwadim, a lecturer in the Department of Political and Administrative Studies at the University of Port Harcourt, also spoke on the powers of the governor to discipline the local government chairmen.
The governor can suspend the local chairman, but with approval by the House of Assembly. But in this case, we have a situation where there is a court matter barring the two divisions in the Assembly from performing their duties. And so the governor will find it difficult in exercising that power as it is now. For those of the commissioners, the governor appoints commissioners, and he can also decide to relieve them of their offices at own discretion.
Moving on, the police are yet to speak nearly 24 hours after gunmen suspected to be cultists reportedly killed a young man simply identified as Akpan in Rumokalabo area of Port Harcourt. Reports say the young man, popularly known as Fregene, was going home after watching a football game when the gunmen who had been trailing him shot him twice in the neck at a close range. Well, the Chief Security Officer of Ikwere Local Government Area, Dixon Mbomahom, says members of a local vigilante accosted a suspected kidnapper identified as Felix along the Iguruta Umwechem Road. Mr. Mbomahom tells correspondent Emeko Tuka that the Felix is allegedly linked to the kidnapping of a driver and passengers on that same road. He said he has been handed over to the Iguruta Police Command.
Those headers that normally kidnap in the local government, they all stuck in the group have apprehended one now as I'm talking with you. Also, they screwed the man's vehicle. So the one that they apprehend have already handed over to the group division. The one that we apprehend, his name is Felix. He have confessed that others is in the bush.
Still to come, suspended Adamawa State Resident Electoral Commissioner now in Niger Republic. Stay tuned. Welcome back, and now to the rest of the news. The Court of Appeal in Abuja has affirmed the judgment of the tribunal which dismissed a petition filed by the PDP challenging the re-election of Gombe State Governor Inuwa Yahaya of the APC. Well, the court agreed with the tribunal that PDP's case after. He is a visiting his second wife. When reviewed this, the State High Court Yola, but the judge said personally. President Bola Tinubu has appointed man of River State AP, Desmond Akawo, as a federal commissioner of Stabilization, Allocation and Fiscal Commission.
And now we bring you news from around the world.
Qatar says the temporary ceasefire in the Israel-Hamas war will begin tomorrow with the first group of 13 hostages being freed. While Israel says the truce is just a pause as they are not about to finish the war against Hamas. And that's the news, but before we go, let's take a look at the highlights. On the news this evening, you heard that former Rivers APC chairman Emeka Bekee is demanding the reversal of the dissolution of the State Executive Council. A former APC spokesperson, Chris Finebone, has blamed bad leadership for the crisis in Rivers APC. Now, on the foreign scene, you heard that Qatar has announced key details of the planned pause in Gaza fighting. The news was edited by Onyeka Chinwosu. To reach the news team, send an SMS or WhatsApp to 0808-721-7215. I'm Constance Mega. Thank you so much for listening. Good evening.
Nigeria Info. Nigeria. I'm listening.
You are tuned in to 92.3 Nigeria Info. Stay updated with all the current news. From policies to politics, economies, local and foreign news. We keep you updated on all the happenings. Nigeria Info.
Let's talk.